everyone, and welcome to this week's discussion stream. Welcome. There's going to be quite a couple of different interesting topics that I'm going to discuss tonight. Blizzard is still, unfortunately, having some problems. There's been a lot of leaked information that may be true or may not be true about BlizzCon, which, I mean, we are going into BlizzCon very soon. I wanted to also discuss Ubisoft. Ubisoft is not in a very good place right now. I also wanted to discuss Disney being accused of purchasing tickets for the new Star Wars movie. It is projected to be the worst-selling Star Wars movie in the new trilogy, which I guess that's what you get. And also I want to discuss Death Stranding. There's a little bit of new information with that. I know that is a game that a lot of people are excited for. I myself am pretty damn excited for it. Death Stranding is a game that I am hopeful for. Though honestly, I'm not sure how people are really going to take it and how people are going to enjoy it. I heard a dog bear. It's not a dog, it's a cat. Right? Get it right. It's a cat. I work at Ubisoft. I also work at Disney. Believable. 10 out of 10, very believable. Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. I will stick around and we will chat for a minute before we get into the topics and the discussion. I hope you're all doing well. Death Stranding looks meh. It looks very out there, and to me, that is really what's interesting, because I feel like we get so many copies of a copy these days for games, so I really like to see the innovation, and obviously the game looks very out there. I'm honestly not sure how it's gonna do. I honestly think that it's not gonna do as well as people predict. I don't think it's going to be the next big game. I don't think it's going to be the next, say, Skyrim, where it infinitely sells amazing. But I do think that for people that are interested in more out there concepts for games and stories, I think it's going to be interesting. For me personally, it does seem like a game that I'm very interested in and that I may purchase when it comes out on PC, which is the news we will be discussing. I thought you lost interest in Death Stranding. I'm interested in it, don't get me wrong. I just don't think that it is the next huge, amazing game. I don't think that it's going to be a game that sells fantastic. I don't think it's going to be that, but I am interested in it. I just, we're coming up on its PlayStation release, and, I don't think I'm going to buy it on the PlayStation. I don't think that I'm going to purchase it at launch, though
the
it is a game...
B-25 Mitchell medium bomber is the best bomber the U.S. Army Air Corps had in WW2. Don't at me.
Thank you for the $5 donation, right? I very much so appreciate it. Yeah, we were talking about Billy Mitchell in Discord earlier. If you guys are not already part of Discord, make sure to join that. But, yeah, I'm fairly excited for Death Stranding. I don't think I'm going to purchase it on launch. It is a game that I will wait a little bit for, but I do feel like it is a game that I will eventually purchase. Death Stranding looks like Outer Worlds. I don't think so. But yeah. Hello, friend. How was your birthday? My birthday was very good. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. How old are you now? 13. Yeah, that's it all right. That's it all right. Death Stranding will partially be folks arguing this is art you wouldn't understand. Oh, I definitely agree with that. I think that a lot of people are going to think that it's too out there, because so far the concept that we know, I mean, carrying babies in a backpack, I don't necessarily think that that will be something that a lot of people will be interested in. Though I do think that it will be innovative enough to the point where people that can look past maybe something that a lot of people wouldn't find to be art or whatnot will enjoy it, or will at least try it. In trying it and enjoying it are on two different scales here. Yeah, can we not antagonize each other in chat? That would be great. Going to be lurking. I got some amount of reading for the new... You mean the next few hours? Well, I appreciate you lurking and stopping by, very much so. But alright, I suppose we will get into the first topic. Blizzard! we're coming up on BlizzCon, so hopefully after BlizzCon, if you're sick of hearing about Blizzard, it will die down a little bit. But going into BlizzCon, there is a lot of freaking leaks that we have heard about so far, and we have two new ones that I'm going to be discussing. The first one is apparently Overwatch 2 is on its way. From what I've heard, it really doesn't sound like Overwatch 2. It kind of sounds like Overwatch Chapter 2, which, I mean, obviously would most likely be another game. But I feel like there is a difference because it's not like a direct sequel or anything. It's just like the next iteration of Overwatch. So, Blizzard Entertainment will unveil its next iteration of its popular Overwatch franchise, featuring a new logo, new game modes, maps, heroes, and PvE features at BlizzCon this week, according to a BlizzCon source and a BlizzCon training document, which included information about Overwatch 2 and was obtained by ESPN. Now, right off the bat, we do have quite a bit of information here because it's not saying that they're going to be announcing it, it's that they're going to be unveiling it. And there are two very different things here because we've heard, spoilers, in case you haven't heard, we've kind of heard that at BlizzCon they will be announcing Diablo 4, but also there's rumors that they will be announcing the Diablo 2 remake. And if they did that, it would more be as such just like a overall big picture, like the, I hate to say it, the Elder Scrolls Mountain. It sounds like it's just going to be an Elder Scrolls Mountain where you get the 20-30 second trailer and it says Diablo 2 remake. This actually sounds like they've been planning this for a while. Now the difference here is that it's, I'm sorry, with Diablo 2 remake, it just kind of sounds like they're announcing it because of the whole Blitzchung situation. They want as much good press as possible. They want to jam-pack down your throat every positive piece of information that they can. Like they weren't going to announce it this year, maybe they were going to announce it next year. But with Overwatch, it does sound like they are going to be actually featuring and unveiling the next game, meaning there'll be actual content. So it wasn't just like a knee-jerk reaction to the current situation that they're in and with all the current negativity going on. So that is a little bit more positive. It doesn't sound like they're just throwing it into the world just to give you content, just to please people. But continuing on, it says it was early reported in June by Kotaku that Blizzard was working on a PvE-focused Overwatch 2, with Blizzard assigning resources from other areas in the company that included a cancelled StarCraft first-person shooter game using the Overwatch engine. Where's StarCraft, okay? Can we focus on the important things here? And that is StarCraft. Rest in peace, StarCraft. I'm not convinced that they're going to do anything with it. But if they did, that would be the highlight of BlizzCon for me personally. But we've kind of heard, like, the Overwatch PvE rumors. I personally thought that they were just going to do, like, a huge update to the game and really add in a ton of PvE-focused content instead of, like, creating a new game, just adding in that content, because there's room for that in Overwatch. Overwatch doesn't have any of that, so I thought that that would be better than, like, another addition. Though it doesn't sound like that's what they're doing. Let me check chat really quickly. Hello, Sid Alpha, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good night. This time no May, perhaps? Perhaps. Hello, Mendrail, I hope that you're doing well tonight. We're going to mind you because you're a semi-prominent YouTuber these days with worthwhile content. Fair enough, fair enough. The document obtained by ESPN offers a first look for what you should expect from Blizzard's franchise esport title at BlizzCon, which begins on Friday. Honestly, BlizzCon's kind of shaping up to be an event at this point, besides, of course, the fact that there's going to be protesters. For content-wise, it really sounds like they're pushing out everything that they can. Notably, the Overwatch logo has a small round orange 2 indexed at the top right corner. I mean, it looks like Overwatch. You know, I'm really getting Team Fortress 2 vibes from this. Really getting those vibes here. Sorry. Here, talents and in-game items are coming to Overwatch 2 PvE, and one of the missions will be a 4-player story experience set in Rio de Janeiro as opposed to the 6v6 gameplay in the original Overwatch, according to the document. Of course, Blizzard has not responded to any of this, of course they're not, but 4-player story experience as opposed to 6v6. When I hear a 4-player story experience, I think of like a Call of Duty Zombies, where it's like 4 players. I don't know if that really gets me excited. Obviously, I am a fan of PvE content. I thought, honestly, that Overwatch was lacking that content, and I would be happy to see that. But I feel like maybe they should branch out a little bit. Make it a bit more interesting, maybe, branch out a tiny bit. Cat's going crazy. While much of the focus will be on story and narrative elements, Overwatch will see its first new mode since the game was released in beta in 2015. They never did anything with Overwatch. That was a huge problem that I had as well. Once the game launched, that was it. They just never did anything of substance here. They never added in new modes. I just felt so disappointed with that. I do like Overwatch, don't get me wrong, but I stopped playing it because I would rather play Call of Duty, even though they are very different, because they actually add in new content with it. Since Overwatch's release, many in the Overwatch community, including professional Overwatch League players, have voiced frustrations for some of Overwatch's less popular game modes, such as Assault, and have been requesting a new variant on which to play. I don't think Overwatch players can honestly complain. As a StarCraft player, I felt way more left out. I think that Overwatch players should be grateful. Look at StarCraft, okay? When was the last time they did anything to StarCraft besides their once-a-year balancing? Okay? Can we be appreciative here? The Overwatch development team has made significant efforts to appease concerns from the Overwatch community, including implementing 222 role lock and role queue into the game. Both the PvE story and new game modes are expected to be available to play for BlizzCon attendees this weekend. Blizzard is also expected to announce at least one new hero during the event. I think that kind of going into BlizzCon, you expect them to announce like a new hero or like something new for the game to kind of please players. But to hear that they actually have something playable is interesting. Like I said earlier, it doesn't sound like it's a Diablo 2 remake situation where they're just kind of trying to announce their next year worth of PR in a day, because they need that positive press currently. Let me check. Oh, the release comes during a tumultuous time for the game developer. Of course, we have Mike Morhaime stepping down. Of course, we have them laying off nearly 1,000 employees in early February. And of course, we have the Hearthstone and Blitzchung situation. I was kind of shocked, honestly, to hear that they were going to be announcing Overwatch 2, or from what we're hearing from ESPN sources, that they will be announcing, like, Overwatch Chapter 2, whatever you would like to call it. I think that's kind of interesting. I am excited for it, though. Of course, with this current situation with Hearthstone, Blitzchung, Blizzard, pick and choose with Blizzard games, especially with how you're supporting Blizzard, but I have loved Blizzard for many years, so I am still excited to see what they have to offer and what they are announcing. She's a StarCraft 2 player as well. Not StarCraft 2 specifically, StarCraft 1 and 2, both. I don't stream them ever. Maybe I should stream StarCraft at some point, but yeah, 1 and 2. As a StarCraft player, we've got nothing. Liberate StarCraft players. Where's the StarCraft content? If we see no StarCraft content, honestly, boycott Blizzard. I'll stick with it. But yeah, Overwatch 2, pretty interesting to see. I don't necessarily think I'm over the moon excited for it, because I felt like they kind of half-assed Overwatch when it first came out. They should have added in obvious PvE content then. I mean, it's been years since they launched it, and I feel like this is kind of... It should have happened already, but I'm not going to necessarily hate on Blizzard for it, because I'm glad that they are at least going to make the effort to implement it. StarCraft Mobile, let's go. Mendrail, I will ban you from this chat. Please don't give them any ideas. Please don't give them any ideas. Please don't, my friend. I got the virtual ticket. I did not. But it will be interesting to see what they do. Overwatch had seasonal PvE events. Seasonal PvE events. Okay. Don't defend Overwatch by saying they have seasonal events. Defending a game for seasonal events is awful. I think that's really half-assed of them to do, like, seasonal events and whatnot. I'm excited to see what they do with Overwatch 2, though they should have done it maybe, like, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, possibly. StarCraft 64. I mean, I could get with that a little bit better. Sure, let's do it. StarCraft first person. The next thing that I wanted to discuss with Blizzard is actually World of Warcraft leaks. As we all know, as you might know, I love World of Warcraft. Well, I don't love it. It's like a 7 out of 10. Wow. 7 out of 10. And I do play the game. I, of course, have played it for a year now at this point. When Classic came out, I was playing Classic. I get pretty excited when it comes to World of Warcraft. There is apparently leaks showing off World of Warcraft's next expansion. Now, I expected this. I feel like everyone expected this. BlizzCon, there's always something for World of Warcraft, whether it is like Classic's announcement or it's just the next expansion. And we are kind of seeing leaks hinting towards the next expansion. Pretty average, honestly. We kind of expected it, but the leak is actually interesting. What the leak talks about is actually interesting. How old is Overwatch now? 2015, I want to say. Is it World of Warcraft Modern now? What do you mean? Like, Classic versus, like, retail? Didn't the expansion that is current just come out? No, World of Warcraft Classic just came out. World of Warcraft, the latest expansion was Battle for Azeroth, which came out last year in, like, August. Of course, they do pretty regular updates for that, but we're talking about, like, the next expansion that you're gonna have to pay money for because they need money. And they're grasping at nostalgia again because it features Lich King. You put Lich King with World of Warcraft, people are gonna freak out. World of Warcraft's current expansion, Battle for Azeroth, is coming to a close. We can expect more details about patch 8.3 to hit at BlizzCon, along with the details about the next expansion. A leak on the Blizzard Gear Store is a big hint at what's coming next. It is always something like an art book. So Diablo 4, it was an art book. We kind of already knew that it was coming now. World of Warcraft, next expansion. It is coming from the Gear Store. Why can these companies not properly schedule their announcements? Why is it so hard to schedule an announcement? This shot of the new Lich King started circulating on social media as a piece of merchandise on the Blizzard Gear Store. That image currently exists in the Gear Store directory. They have not even taken it down yet. The Shadowlands has been brought up quite a bit through BFA. They're essentially where your soul goes. Where essentially your soul goes after you die. This is the image that is currently being shown. I'm gonna be honest. If they do more with the Lich King, I personally wouldn't mind that. I think that that would honestly be pretty cool. I was always a fan of the Lich King. Guys, I got Invincible first go, so obviously I'm kind of biased. Like, Lich King's my guy. Sylvanas, who arguably served as BFA's main character, has also been very obsessed with death. Data miners have discovered a whole lot to do with Lich King Death Knights on patch 8.3 PTR. Bolvar's daughter, Talsa, also shows up as a major player in the Kultiris campaign for BFA. I have not finished the campaign for BFA. I know that they just ended it. I have to play that, but I haven't been playing World of Warcraft. When you put all of this together, the Shadowlands leak looks very viable. I mean, that does look kind of viable to me. I mean, I'm someone that doesn't really believe in leaks until we see information, but, I mean, everyone's been kind of talking about Shadowlands being the next expansion for, like, half a year now. It's been kind of the leaked name that we've heard for a long time, and I wouldn't necessarily knock it. I believe it at this point. I mean, I kind of believed it then. It sounded like a pretty generic name, honestly, though. Yeah. I wonder how retail's WoW player retention looks at this point. I'm not necessarily sure on it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think the Blitzchung situation mattered to 3/4 of the player base for any Blizzard game. Because people are gonna play what they want to play. People like Blizzard games. Blizzard is not a Bethesda. Blizzard can do no wrong in people's eyes, and yeah, Bethesda obviously can't in a lot of people's eyes either. Rest in peace to the players playing Fallout 76 right now. But a lot of people are going to continue to be excited for World of Warcraft, for StarCraft, for Overwatch. They're going to be excited for these titles, and they don't care if a couple of people are boycotting the company. Not enough people care. Obviously, if you, say, have paid for a subscription, like me. I paid last month when all of the Hearthstone Blitzchung situation was going on. I decided I was going to play World of Warcraft, my subscription, until my subscription ran out. I paid for a product. I'm going to play until that product is done, and then I will hold off from there. Obviously, I did come to the conclusion of purchasing Call of Duty Modern Warfare because it was donated to the channel, and I had already told people for a long time that I was going to play it and live stream it, and people kind of, obviously I could have refunded it, but a lot of people were excited to see me play the game and give my initial thoughts on it because I'm pretty unbiased, and I felt as though it was important to kind of uphold that. But if I wasn't a content creator, and I would have refunded it, and it wasn't donated, I would have refunded it. I definitely understand why people are very upset with Blizzard. And even seeing this, yes, I am still upset with Blizzard. I still completely think what they did was wrong, and I honestly don't want to fully support them until they either rescind the 6 months that Blitzchung got, or they kind of make it better, which I don't know how they could at this point. But even seeing this still does, in a way, excite me, because I like World of Warcraft, and if they go into BlizzCon and announce a new StarCraft game, or a new StarCraft mode, or even a new race or class, I would be excited for that. I definitely am gonna be honest, I would still be excited for it, but I'm still disappointed with Blizzard. Sorry, to get into the Blitzchung thing again. I've talked about it a lot. An additional leak seen above that circulated on social media suggests that the next expansion is indeed called Shadowlands. It looks believable. It looks real. I believe it. I believe it. I don't believe leaks a lot, but it looks legitimate. I mean, it really does. Now, none of this is confirmed. We'll likely have to wait until BlizzCon to know whether or not Shadowlands is legitimate. However, everything seems to be pointing in that direction, and the Bolvar art was found on the official Blizzard Gear store directory. So we do know at this point this is real. This picture of the Lich King is 100% legitimate. It completely is. It was posted by Blizzard. It's not a fan art or anything. That is legitimate. But we don't know when ultimately this expansion will come out. We'll find out at BlizzCon most likely, if they'll even announce it at BlizzCon. I'm sure that they will. But I think it would be cool to see the Lich King back and kind of go back to that, but it's just like with Classic. They are just trying to feed off nostalgia. So many companies do that, though. It's not completely surprising. But I mean, when you put the Lich King, everyone's going to be like, nostalgia, nostalgia. All those players that played when Wrath of the Lich King came out, they're going to be moderately more interested than if they were announcing a battle for Azeroth, which is a completely different place, completely different characters. I mean, you put Sylvanas in anything, people are going to be slightly interested, and why do you think they haven't killed that fucking character off yet? I mean, they really are just kind of grasping at nostalgia here, and I don't necessarily think that's bad. I was one of the few people that have enjoyed BFA. I know a lot of, veterans of World of Warcraft disliked BFA, so I have to be honest there, and I am a little biased because I do really like BFA and the new content, but at the same time, I do think that it is cool to feed to people that would have nostalgia, but I feel like they kind of did that with Classic. So I was expecting another new expansion with new characters, but I mean, ultimately, it's not like I'm upset about it. It's not like I'm outraged that they're bringing the Lich King back. It's nostalgia, and I think that's cool. I think it's cool. Let me check the chat really quickly. Watch them change the official name from Shadowlands at the last second. I could see that, Daryl. I could definitely see them kind of changing, like, the name of the expansion last minute to throw people off, even though it would be... it would be obvious. I mean, I think we all know at this point if they change the name, then, why they did because of this right here, because it was leaked already. Though, I mean, I don't think they necessarily would at the same time because they're naming characters. If they weren't naming characters and kind of announcing where you were going to be, then I feel like it would be easier, but it would be difficult at this point for them to completely play it off as a leak. Who knows, though? Who knows? Weren't they supposed to be attempting to shift to WoW 2 at some point? I mean, I feel like their kind of shift to WoW 2 was World of Warcraft Classic, because I don't think that they'd have, like, 3 World of Warcrafts going on at the same time. World of Warcraft, Retail, and Classic, I feel like that's all they really can balance right now. But, I mean, it would depend on what you mean by World of Warcraft 2. There's been, like, talk about, like, World of Warcraft 2 for a very long time. And I think that ultimately they decided to go with Classic as their number 2. Let me check chat really quickly. I'm amazed that sequels to MMO are even a thing. I mean, it is with some MMOs, not a lot of MMOs, though. When is Star Wars The Old Republic the sequel? Because that MMO is the shit. Where's Black Desert Online number 2? Where it's not pay to win? Can we have that here? Can we have, like, a moment here to discuss that? Honestly, they could do with a completely updated engine for their primary MMO. I think that they would not make a World of Warcraft 2. I think that they would make something brand new. I think that it would be smart of them to do, like, a World of Warcraft, but I think that it's going to be difficult for people to balance 2 games, never mind balancing 3 World of Warcrafts. I would like that. I would like a new updated World of Warcraft, but I just don't think it's realistic at this point. If they hadn't have announced Classic, I think we'd be talking about a very different story here. That's kind of a shame. I really liked his Let's Plays before he switched to politics. Oh, I gotcha. I'm reading chat. He still seems like he's focused on political stuff, but he's still as sharp as they come. I mean, everyone kind of changes their interests in what they do online and content creation, so... I've definitely seen some content creators switch what they're doing, and it's kind of disappointing because I preferred their old content, but, I mean, content creation, it is what they want it to be, you know? Anyway, the next topic of discussion is Ubisoft. Oh, Ubisoft. Oh, Ubisoft. They are not having a good time right now. Ubisoft shares price tumbles following delay of its 2020 releases. We have seen a lot of good games, or things that I'm excited for at least, be delayed lately. We saw Doom Eternal, which I was very disappointed with, but ultimately I'm glad that they're delaying it if it needed more work. Doom Eternal was definitely one of them. I mean, the next Ubisoft title is being delayed. Watch Dogs Legion's being delayed. We've seen a lot of games be delayed, which is a little bit shocking to me. We don't usually see a lot of games being delayed, but there's been a lot recently. Ubisoft has seen its stock plummet after the developer-publisher announced plans to delay the launch of 3 upcoming games until the next financial year. 1 is something, 2 is something, but 3 is a lot, honestly. They announced Thursday that they would delay the release of Legion, Gods and Monsters, and Rainbow Six Quarantine. I'm kind of surprised that they'd announce all 3 at once. What are they even going to be releasing next year? That's what I question. All of which are now slated to release after the current fiscal year ends. Consequently, Ubisoft shaved its outlooks for full year net booking from 2.19 billion euros to 1.45 billion and drastically revised its operating income down to 480 million to 20 to 50 million. That is a huge gap. In response to the news, Bloomberg reports the publisher's stock fell as much as 29% in Paris, sending shares tumbling down to 22%, the lowest level they've been for 6 years. I'm really shocked with this. These are some drastic differences here, honestly. Honestly, really drastic. As Matt reported, all 3 games were initially due to launch before the end of March 2020, with Gods and Monsters and Watch Dogs Legions even receiving firm release dates of 25th February and 6th of March 2020 respectively. Now, however, Ubisoft has confirmed that all 3 titles will now launch sometime in its next financial year, which runs from April 2020 to March 2021. I don't think that we're going to see these between like April to July. I think that they are going to hold off for like an August, an October, and a January. Those would be my rough months. Because if they're holding them off now, why would they release them so soon after that? I think that they're probably going to talk about them at E3. E3, they're going to give like solid release dates. But I'm actually just surprised. The Ubisoft CEO talked candidly about Breakpoint in a press release accompanying the announcement and explained that while the game's quality appeared on track prior to release, critical reception and sales during the game's first weeks were very disappointing. The game's broken. I've heard so many people discuss how this game is broken, and it's just got so many problems. I mean, why is it so bad when it appeared on track prior to release? I think he's just trying to save his ass with that statement. Despite its relative failure, however, Ubisoft says it will continue to support the game. Of course they're going to continue to support the game, it just came out. They don't want it to be a complete loss. That's a little bit of a silly statement. And listen to the community in order to deliver the necessary improvements. The delay will also see the games optimized for the next generation of consoles. That's believable. That maybe they're holding these off because they need more work for the next generation of consoles. But Breakpoint. I mean, who even bought Breakpoint? Did any of you in chat purchase Breakpoint? I stopped buying Ghost Recon games about 4 games ago. 3 games ago. I don't really purchase a lot from Ubisoft now that I consider it. I think that Ubisoft just kind of fell off the radar for me personally. I know, they're a game developer and publisher that a lot of people really like. I just kind of didn't want to deal with their bullshit. After a couple games, I just felt like there was better out there. Just like BioWare continues to support Anthem, exactly. I mean, unfortunately though, it's pretty obvious that everyone's given up on Anthem at this point. They tried, I'll be honest. They tried to get Anthem to go somewhere. But after that initial wave of people saying if it's a good game or not, and with the negative reception that it got, I just don't think that they could hold up with the content. I was disappointed. I thought Anthem looked really interesting at the beginning. I thought that it looked like a game that I genuinely would have enjoyed. It felt Destiny to me, and I hate to say that because Destiny had its flaws as well, but it really had that Destiny vibe to me, and I felt like it was really interesting, but it just, that was a crash and burn. I honestly didn't think that it was going to be a crash and burn, though. I thought that it was going to do well. I didn't think that it was going to do as good as they thought it would, though. I had high hopes for Ubisoft at one point, but shit, I already know Watch Dogs Legions is gonna be a mess. Obviously, we know that Legion is going to be a mess. Anything that's named Legion is bad. Anything. I just, they just didn't do enough with Anthem. They should have held it back. They should have done more content with it. They should have fixed it. It just had everything against it, and that was its problem. I think that a lot of games have a lot going against them, but in terms of like a Fallout 76, everything was against it. Anthem, everything was against it. And I mean, not even necessarily because content creators were interested in Anthem, whereas they weren't with 76. Fallout definitely crashed and burned. But Anthem had larger streamers interested in it, and I felt like they could have definitely grabbed at that more, but they just didn't. It was a game that came and went, and I think that Breakpoint is a game that's going to come and go as well. I don't think that Breakpoint will have a chance at surviving. With how fast our market moves and how fast the gaming industry moves, if your game is not good on release, that's it. Like, there's no room for decent, unfortunately. I think that a lot of decent games do deserve more, but there's no room for decent anymore. You have to be a hit or you are going to do shit. It's the way that it is. As yet, the company has not revealed when we might see the games launch in the next financial year, and there was no update at all on its multiplayer pirate adventure Skull and Bones, which was also delayed back in May. Skull and Bones was so interesting to me. That was one game that I was actually interested in. Yeah, that's definitely not the case anymore. When you hold back a game, I don't necessarily think that's bad. I don't write off a game because it's held back. I personally would rather see a game held back and then fix the content and fix the game rather than release something that is buggy and broken and bullshit. I would rather see them hold it back and do good with it. I would rather see Ubisoft succeed. I would love to see every gaming company succeed and make our industry fucking amazing. I would love that. I don't talk about negative things because I'd like to. I don't like seeing the industry or companies fail. I want them to flourish, and unfortunately Ubisoft is definitely not flourishing right now. That's all the information that we have currently. Their stocks have tumbled. They are delaying multiple games. We have 4 games that they have to announce for the next fiscal year, financial year. I don't know how they're going to fit 4 games into next year. There's 4 upcoming games for next year, so Ubisoft has a lot to offer. I guess we'll see eventually what happens. But I hope that they know what they're doing, because if they release them too close together, it's not going to do good for them. Anthem had larger streamers paid to play it, right? I guess I should say that. But I still think that was a lot of free press for, well, not free press, but I feel like it was a lot of good press for them. And I feel like they didn't capitalize on that at all because it was a bad product. If it was a better product, I think that paying for content creators to discuss the game or show it off, I don't think that would have been bad. I think that it would have been good. But when you're paying people like Dr. Disrespect to show off your game and it's broken and buggy and it's unplayable, I just don't think that it was what they should have done. They shouldn't have paid anyone. We as a society love to hear about negativity, but don't want to experience it in our daily lives. I mean, I talk about a lot of negative things. I talk about censorship quite a bit. I talk about more negative industry news. But I feel that it is important to point out the negative things, so maybe companies will understand it and fix the negative things so they don't happen again. I want our industry to be good. I want it to be perfect and positive, and I don't want any games to be broken. I want every game to come out and have it be a banger. I want everyone to have their chance at playing a great game. Like, I would have loved to play Anthem, but it just didn't turn out the way that I thought it would, so I passed on it. I would have enjoyed playing that game. Fallout 76, for fuck's sake, I would have enjoyed playing. I would have enjoyed creating content for it, and I would have loved to experience it if it wasn't a cash grab. It wasn't broken, it wasn't buggy, and it didn't have pay-to-win elements in it that they initially said weren't going to happen. Bethesda, Ubisoft, get your shit together, my friends. Come on. How hard is it? Good to point it out, we just can't be smiling and consuming product and wait for more product. I mean, yeah. Humans take delight in the misfortune of others. I mean, that's true. A lot of people do, yeah. I don't want every game to be a banger. I ain't that rich. Okay, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, you won't have money to play them. But when the game goes down to $10 or $20 a year after release, would you rather have the opportunity to purchase a great game, or where you can go and buy Destiny 1 for $3 or Destiny 2 for $10? Like, you want that quality. I want that quality in games, at least. But the next thing that I wanted to discuss was Disney. Disney. Oh, Disney. Disney is currently being suspected of buying tickets for the new Star Wars movie. Oh, Disney. What are you doing? I've heard the argument that it's scalpers, but once you see, like, the map of the spots that are actually being purchased, I don't necessarily think that. This is a article from One Angry Gamer. If you guys want it, I will link it. Of course, any of the articles that I've discussed, if you want them linked in the chat, just let me know. Once again, Disney is getting criticized for potentially buying out theaters to prop up the sales figures for another one of their potential failures. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this isn't completely an extraordinary situation. I'm not gonna say a lot of companies do it, but when their projected sales are awful, they want that hype and they need that media coverage. So if they go, oh, we're selling tickets great, then media's going to pick that up and people are actually going to be excited. They're going to be like, okay, if other people are excited, I'm going to do it too. Everyone wants to be cool, so everyone's going to do what they hear other people doing. So if you're purchasing tickets to Rise of the Fuckwalker, if you hear other people doing it, you're going to want to do it too. You want to be cool. As the Rise of the Skywalker continues its desperate last-minute reshoots, word has begun spreading across various media and social media profiles that Disney has once again been caught mass purchasing tickets. We've heard that there is mass reshoots for it currently. I don't necessarily know if I believe them. I mean, do I believe them? I'm not sure. I feel like they've kind of already made their bed. So I don't think that they're really worried about what people, what people think about it at this point. Be careful with One Angry Gamer. I'm just reading it because they provide evidence. That's all. It's a decent article. I'm just reading it. That's all. No drama. As discussed in the video by The Quartering, in an arguably hate-brained move by the first announcement that the ticket sales were a success from Atom Tickets, a Disney-financed ticket reseller where the director of the movie sits on the board. Soon, headlines would switch to the former Disney CEO, Ran Fandango, as the boasts increased. Not unlike a wild fisherman's story. Whew, alright. So, I haven't heard too many people discuss this, but we're going to just look at the seat legend. How about this? Why don't we just look at the seat legend for a minute here? It's pretty convenient that we're looking at, like the seat legend. And a lot of the good seats are there. Pretty suspicious for scalpers. Why wouldn't scalpers purchase, first of all, tickets to a better movie? But why wouldn't they pick the good seats? Where Disney has been able to more smoothly get away with these purchases before, the latest trend has been openly called suspicious by numerous users. They've been accused of purchasing tickets to many different movies. I mean, If you believe it or not, that's one thing. I personally believe that they do that. Now, you can obviously look at the evidence. You might believe it, you might not believe it. I personally believe that they do purchase tickets for that positive press. If more tickets are sold, more people are talking about how great the movie's gonna do. But this actually is they project the lowest sales in the sequel trilogy for this movie compared to the past movies. And we heard with the last Star Wars movie that it was supposed to be the lowest in the trilogy and they thought the next movie was going to do fantastic. No. It is this movie. It's because they've ruined it. I used to love Star Wars. Unfortunately, Star Wars has been ruined. I just think everything about it at this point is bad. I've discussed my thoughts on the characters. I mean, we know who Kylo and Rey are supposed to be in the novels. We know their novel equivalents. We see how drastically they've changed their stories and just their characters in general. But yeah, I mean, I'm weary about it, honestly. I think that they do these types of things, and I believe it. Fans that are legitimately excited for this movie are on the National Endangered Species list. I mean, okay, that right there is pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Some argue they've gone extinct in the wild, but others claim every so often one is documented or seen through reports. I think that's pretty funny. I mean, it's so true. Who's really excited for this movie? I personally think that they ruined Star Wars, at least these movies. I thought Rogue One was great. Honestly, I thought Rogue One was pretty good. But besides that, I think that the new sequel trilogy is just awful. It's awful. Despite their rare, I got seats at 2 theaters near me. Damn, we're gonna have to start looking at seats. Disney wants people to believe that this movie is outselling Avengers Endgame. I don't know if they necessarily want people to think that, but they want people to think that it's doing better than it's doing. Obviously, we really won't know until it launches what people think of it, and obviously how tickets are selling. Because just because Disney, let's say Disney is doing it, just because they buy out seats at some theaters doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, people are going to even that balance, and there's going to be that balance. They are going to even it out. I mean, they could buy as many tickets as they want, but if no one buys the tickets, then come on. Like, it really depends on how people enjoy the movie and if they even are enjoying the movie. That's all that I really wanted to talk about that. Really quickly going over the fact that Disney is being suspected of buying Star Wars tickets right now. Is it believable? I believe it. If other people believe it, that's your choice. You know, I'm not gonna say you should believe it. It might not be true. I don't think it's scalpers, though, and I think to say that it's scalpers is kind of silly. I've seen that argument on some other, like, YouTube videos and whatnot, and other people discussing it. Also here, some comments of this, people are saying, it's scalpers! They're just buying tickets to the movies. First of all, for an awful movie that no one's excited for, and second of all, the worst seats. They didn't even purchase the good seats. Do you really think Disney risks jail time and prison time? I mean, come on now. Come on now. I don't believe that. They're too good. Anyway, the last topic of the night is something a little bit more positive, besides Disney doing something shady again. Something I am actually excited for. Death Stranding. Yes, we are discussing Death Stranding. We all knew this day would come. We really have no information on it, besides the fact that right now, Death Stranding has been announced to be heading to PC in early summer 2020. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm pretty on the fence with Death Stranding. I do think that it sounds cool. I do think that the concept is very out there, it's very different, and it's very interesting to me personally. But I don't think it's going to be a game that sells amazing. I definitely think that everyone saying this is going to be the next amazing game is a little off their rocker. I think that the concept is too out there for a lot of people. But with it coming out very soon to the PlayStation 4, I am going to hold off on the PlayStation 4 version most likely and wait until we hear more about the PC version. I, of course, don't purchase a lot on my PlayStation now because of Sony and the way that they've acted, but we finally have confirmation it's heading to PC, and I'm very excited for that. Kojima Productions has announced a PC release for Death Stranding. While the game was originally planned for a PC release alongside its reveal, we now know that the game will launch for PC Windows in early summer 2020. The PlayStation 4 release is set for November 8th. Of course, it comes out very soon. But that's all we really know. It's early summer 2020, unfortunately. I wish that I had more information to tell you guys. I wish that I had information, but I think that it's interesting. I was pretty disappointed to hear that the PC release wouldn't be on initial launch. For a long time, we expected that, and now, unfortunately, well, before a couple months ago, a year ago, at this point, we heard that it wasn't going to be the case. I'm excited for it to head to PC. I'm gonna be honest, though. I think that they know that this game isn't going to be the magical next Skyrim that sells infinite copies, and that's why they split the releases. I honestly think that, because they want to promote the game now, but they can re-promote the game in a couple of months, and of course, when it launches on PC, you're gonna have people going, oh, it's on the PlayStation 4 as well. Oh, I'm definitely going to pick it up on the PlayStation 4 if I'd rather not play it on PC. I think they're just trying to spread their marketing out. I don't think that's necessarily bad, but I wish that they were launching at the same time. Let's not pretend the MG story is a masterpiece. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I don't think it's awful. I mean, I don't think that it's awful. My opinion, Kojima is vastly overrated. I think that he's overrated, but I don't think he's vastly overrated. I do see how innovative he is in a lot of cases. Yeah, his innovation might be way out there, and it might be completely bonkers, but I don't necessarily think that he's awful. I don't think that he's completely overrated. I think that he's got something, but I think that he would do really good with someone else. Like, I think that, like, if he had someone else writing with him, I think that if he had someone to balance him out a little bit more, I think that it would be amazing. I think that if he had someone good for him, they could write some damn good stories. Takes them a while to port to PC also. Yeah, that's also a good point to make. The thing with Death Stranding is that it's more of like a interactive movie. It's not really a game, from what it sounds like, which I personally don't mind, but I know that that's a turn-off for a lot of people as well. I just think that a lot of things are going against Death Stranding at this point, but it does have a lot of things that I am fairly interested in. But those are the topics that I had to discuss for tonight's stream, you guys. I will stick around and chat, of course, for about 10 or 15 minutes and just interact with you guys in the chat. But if you were here just to listen to the topics, that is all that I had to discuss tonight. Oh no, not completely, just 80% overrated? I mean, I would say 70% overrated. But I think that we're in the general same spectrum, like 70, 80, I think those are some decent percentages. Disney could give away tickets if they wanted to promote the movie and make ticket sales look good. They could, but why would they do that? Why would they give things away for free and look like a better company? Disney doesn't do that. Disney doesn't do that. Yeah, giving tickets away doesn't make investors happy. That's true as well. That's another point that you have to make. I mean, so many companies want to please investors. I mean, Blizzard, please stop trying to appease your Chinese investors. Yeah. Do you think Kojima will take Epic money? What do you mean, will Kojima take Epic money? Of course not. I mean, if he does, then I guess I'm not playing the game. But I don't think so. I would say no. He's talked about Epic exclusivity before. He's discussed like how he feels about Epic exclusivity. If you haven't seen that, you could probably find it pretty easy online. But he has discussed his thoughts on it before. Because purchasing tickets makes it sound like more people are excited, which will in turn drive ticket sales. Exactly. I mean, I think that they probably do give away... I mean, we hear about movies giving away free tickets to, like, specific types of people. Like, people that won't have time watching it. Like, people that maybe are unfortunately dying or passing away. And that's their good press. That's their good free ticket press. I hate to say it that way, but they're not going to give people like you and me free tickets. They're going to give people free tickets that's going to give them the best free press, and unfortunately, that's their moneymaker. That's what gets them good press, good articles written about them, and good coverage. You have to consider it that way. They give away free tickets, but specifically placed free tickets, let's be honest. Influencers, they never give influencers free things. I mean, I don't think movie studios particularly believe in influencers completely. I think that, yeah, some of them do, maybe a little bit more than others. But it's not like the gaming industry, where developers and publishers see influencers as a very important part of their marketing now. It's free marketing. It's another world of marketing. Would the heads of Sony let Kojima take Epic money? That's a good question. Give it away to females in oppressed groups. Easy, good press. I don't know about that. Hollywood hasn't caught up to the internet marketing completely. They have, they just don't want to accept it. That's their problem. I definitely think that they've kind of, they know what it is. Like, they are not stupid. But do they believe in it is a good question, I guess. And do they want to trust it? I think that they mainly don't want to trust it. That's another good point to make, in my opinion. Free tickets for traditional media critics and wine and dine events. I mean, do traditional media critics even get free tickets anymore? Do they get free viewing? I mean, I know that they do, like, viewing parties and stuff. And sometimes big media critics are invited to those events. But I don't even think that they really care about that stuff anymore. I just feel like they're so specific with who actually gets to view the movies anymore. It's unfortunate to hear. The larger ones do. Yeah, I guess the larger ones that have the opinions that they like do. I just remember all the Captain Marvel buying ticket videos, and no one has ever proved that. I mean, I had seen some pretty hard evidence for that. But, I mean, that was so long ago at this point. I mean, Captain Marvel sold well. Besides the fact that maybe they bought tickets or maybe they didn't, Captain Marvel sold pretty well. It did decent. All the legacy critics get tickets? Yeah, true. Yeah. Can we talk about the Overwatch Lucio cereal? Overwatch cereal? What? There's cereal for Overwatch? Definitely gonna pass on that. I'm a strict Honey Nut Cheerio or Frosted Flakes person, so I think I'm gonna pass on berry cereal. Old legacy media is in bed with old Hollywood execs, same clicks, same money circles. True. Fair enough point. I guess if you're... Did someone say food? Yeah, guys, donate $5 to the pizza fund. I'm not monetized by YouTube, so consider supporting via Patreon or give me $1 for pizza. Shameless promos. Frosted Flakes, literally a child. Ugh, I am a child. I just turned 13, didn't you know? My birthday was 2 days ago. I turned 13. I'm back. What did I miss? We talked about Disney being scummy, possibly. We've talked about cereal, and we've discussed Blizzard being shit. Cinnamon Toast Crunch? No. Just add cereal to, like, Frosted Flakes. I mean, add cereal to Frosted Flakes. Add cinnamon, like, to Frosted Flakes. It's, like, the same thing, okay? It's, like, the same thing. It's just sugar and cinnamon. Just make sure your ratios are right, or you're gonna be doing the cinnamon challenge. I don't know. I personally don't put a lot of faith and give a lot of trust to companies like Disney anymore. I could be maybe a little bit biased because I don't trust them anymore. But I mean, to each their own. If you believe that it's scalpers or if it's Disney purchasing tickets, put your tinfoil hats on. Everything's all right. StarCraft was a cereal in Korea. I'll take 20. Um, Real old men eat unfrosted mini wheats and bran flakes. Ew, yuck. Frosted flakes. What did I miss? We're just having a nice discussion. My current cereal selection is Raisin Bran and Cheerios. Wait, Honey Nut Cheerios or normal Cheerios? Because I've heard that they have a pumpkin spice flavored Cheerio now, and I've got to order me some.
For the pizza fund, and go to thegeekgetaway.com.
Thank you for the $5 donation, Tony. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. But, yeah. We were talking about food. I mean, is it that shocking that we're discussing food? I mean, how many of you guys play video games and eat food at the same time? Like, eat snacks? Come on. Normal? What's normal? Oh, you eat normal Cheerios? Oh, awful. Awful. You're not classy enough to be here. You're banned. Censored. Why are we talking about cereal specifically, though? I wish cereal wasn't so overpriced. There's some good, cheap cereal out there, my friend. What is with young white women and pumpkin spice? I swear to God, I'm more of a caramel person, but I like to switch it up with pumpkin every once in a while. I mean, come on. Do you not like pumpkin pie? Come on. The Nest cereal system? Remember back in the day when marketing used to be through cereal? And now it's through YouTubers. What a shame. The cereal was much better. They used to put the ads on the side of cereal boxes, you know? Give you something free inside the cereal. Those were the marketing days, okay? Oh, I prefer caramel, Rhett. But don't get me wrong. I like pumpkin spice every once in a while. Alright, you guys. We are officially done tonight's talk stream. We've talked about food, we've talked about Blizzard, we've talked about Disney, Ubisoft, and Death Stranding. So thank you guys so much for stopping by tonight. I very much so appreciate it. Of course, the next discussion stream will be next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Every Monday we have a discussion stream. We discuss articles and topics I have not made videos on. If you did not see today's video, please make sure to go and check it out. I did make a video today. I didn't yesterday, but yes. Also, this week I will be playing MTG Arena per usual, doing another video game stream per usual, probably playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare again. If you do not already support the channel, please consider checking out the links in the description, supporting via Patreon, just $1 a month, or direct donating. Thank you, Rhett and Tony, for your donations tonight. I very much so appreciate them. I will be in Discord in case you guys want to chat in Discord. I will link the Discord very quickly in case you guys do not have a link. I should put it in the description, but I have not yet. You have a YouTube channel? I do. But, alright you guys, thank you so much for stopping by tonight. I very much so appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next live stream or in Discord. Have a fantastic night, everybody.